You live. Hello, everyone. This is the voice and the face of Dr. Tolu Olabinto. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Living Spring Family Medical Center in the beautiful city of Mansfield, Texas, where we help our patients live long and well because we believe the quality of life is just as important as the quantity of life. I have to tell you, I'm really excited. I wasn't going to let any hiccup with the technical stuff mess this opportunity up, but I'm so honored to have Dr. Elizabeth or Dr. Beth Frates. Um, who is a trained physiatrist and a health and wellness coach, and also an expert in lifestyle medicine, who has agreed to come on here to talk with us this evening. How are you, Doc?
I am terrific, Dr. Tolu. So good to see you. I
Oh, why can't
remember
I hear you?
Oh, can,
Oh,
can you hear me
goodness,
now?
I can't hear you. So
Okay.
what I'm going to do,
I can't hear you now. I can't hear you.
can
I
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right. Whew. All right, but thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I just introduced you, and thank you for coming to do this. I know you're really busy, so I really appreciate you doing this.
Oh, Dr. Tolu, it is a pleasure to be here. I remember meeting you at the American College of Lifestyle Medicine during the
Yes.
lifestyle medicine interest group. We were around a table and
Yes.
you were so vibrant, so alive, so ageless. just just the epitome of health. And I was so delighted to connect with you. I still have the picture of the two of us that we took at that evening.
It was only recently I saw that you shared that. I looked on was it Twitter?
Yes,
Yes. I had not been on Twitter and I saw it. I was like, oh my gosh, you actually put it up there. So thank you for doing that.
of course, of course.
All right. So for those who are wondering, who are like, well, who's this doctor? Okay, here she's an expert. And you're a big deal with lifestyle medicine and all the other hats that you wear. But could you kindly introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do, Doc?
Absolutely. So I am Dr. Beth Frates, and I am the president of the American College of Lifestyle Medicine. I am serving in this capacity for 2 years. And I also am an assistant professor part time at Harvard Medical School, where I teach the medical students about lifestyle medicine. In addition, I am teaching at Harvard Extension School 3 courses. One's called Wellbeing from the Inside Out, from Cell to Community. The other one is Lifestyle Medicine 101. And the third course in the spring is Culinary Psychology. So I love to teach, and that's a big part of what I do. And another part of what I do is to see patients. And in this point in my career, I am doing lifestyle medicine consulting and coaching. So my patients range from people who have prediabetes or diabetes, people who have had a heart attack or a stroke,
Mm.
people who are burned out and they are physicians or clinicians of some type and they are not feeling well and they feel like they're on the verge of something bad, but they don't know what that is. And this is a
Mm.
tough spot to be in. So I work with people in all different age groups, stages of life, and different professions. Now, I also do enjoy doing research, and I work with patients in group settings where there's one clinician, me, and then 8 to 10 patients. And we work on a lifestyle medicine intervention to help people, just like you said, add years to their life, but most importantly, life to those years. So,
Mm.
enjoyment, quality, thriving, these words come up in these groups. So, we're researching pre and post how these groups at Spalding Rehabilitation Hospital are having an impact on those that take the class.
Awesome, awesome. But here's my question. What got you kind of hooked into the lifestyle path? Because
Mm,
you're obviously very passionate about it. But why do you do what you do?
yeah, there is a reason. And there's even a moment in time when I knew this is what I needed to do.
Mm.
And this revolves around a patient. And this patient has given me full rights to share the story.
Okay.
I like to share the story because the person is common in that the story is one you see time and time again in the hospital. So let me proceed, if I may. This patient is 52 years old, overweight, overworked, overstressed New York City businessman who walks fast, talks fast, dines fast, and sometimes does all three at the same time.
Mhm.
In terms of his eating, what he's eating, it is fast food. It is sugary sweets. He stress eats because he is in New York City running a business that his father started, and he is dedicated to his clients. In terms of social connection, he's married and has kids, but he lives at the office. Now, yes, he may come home at night, sometimes quite late at night, and he's there, and maybe he's there for Sunday for a church and then a Sunday brunch with the family, but he's not fully there and present
Mhm.
because he's always thinking about the clients. And this even gets into his sleep. So he may try to fall asleep at midnight, but he's thinking about problems and stressors. He's going down into the kitchen, consuming whatever is there, like cookies and candies and ice cream, because they're there and they help him feel better. And then when we think about the pillars of lifestyle medicine, we must mention a large pillar that we haven't touched on, which is exercise. And for this gentleman, he was an outstanding athlete in high school, college, played soccer, played basketball, played baseball, and he was very athletic. But I did tell you he was overweight, overstressed,
Right.
overworked New York City businessman. So at this time in his life, he was sitting. He was sedentary at the office most of the time. There's one thing that he did do, one activity that he did do, only one. And you knew what time of the day he would do this, but you had no idea what day, nor did he even schedule what day he would do
To
this.
do it.
Sort of sporadic. Do you know, Dr. Tolu, what he might do? Do you know this?
When you
I
do
mean, it's a guess. You'd have to guess. There's no way to actually know. What would this guy?
golfing. I don't know.
Everybody says that. They're like, he must be golfing. And they have a lot of different answers. So that's the most common one, but it is not, in fact, Dr. Tolu. It is, well, first I'll tell you, it happens the exact same time, 11:07 p.m., whenever he does this. Mad dashes, sprints from 101 Park Avenue to Grand Central Station to catch the last train home. Because if he didn't catch
Oh
that
my
train,
gosh.
he would have to sleep in the cot at work. And that's not comfortable. Now, he didn't sleep well anyway, but he really didn't enjoy sleeping on the cot. And sometimes he would race for the train and miss it. So it was a full on sprint.
Wow.
And unfortunately, Dr. Tolu, on one of these sprints, he got a little pain, little pressure.
No.
No pain, no gain. He forged forward, made the train. And any clinicians in the audience or people who have had someone that has experienced pain in the left chest and then it radiated down into the hand, into the
Mhm.
key and the ring finger, then the pressure got really heavy like an elephant resting on his chest. Then he got really diaphoretic and sweaty and pale and short of breath. And he went to leave the train after a half an hour, and his wife took one look at him, and she was a school teacher. She didn't know anything about medicine, but she took one look at him and raced him to the ER, where he completed his massive myocardial infarction.
Wow.
And then subsequent middle cerebral artery infarct on the right side of the brain, leaving him paralyzed on the left side of his body. And he was 52 years old at that time. So that's the patient. That's the moment that I knew I needed to do something to help people prevent this from happening to them and take action on their lifestyles before something happened like this. Because this gentleman did make a complete recovery except fine motor movement of his hand. He was in physical therapy for a year with physiatrists, physical medicine and rehab. And he worked really hard. He went to a Pritikin Center where he did lifestyle medicine intensive programs to work on exercise, eating. He changed his diet. He had fruits and vegetables. He had whole grains. He suddenly had a healthy plate. And he learned about stress reduction and walking. He got an exercise stationary bike, was on that thing for 5 days, half an hour every single week. And he started to really connect with his family and his loved ones. And that's where I come in to the story, because I was 18 when this happened. And that is my dear old dad. The story is,
Wow. Wow.
and that's why I know this so well. And that's why this is my calling. And since the age of 18, and I'm older than that now, but it's ageless. We're talking about ageless. So age is just a number. But I've been doing this for, well, many years, decades. And this is the reason. Because I watched with my own 2 eyes, and these 6 pillars of routine physical activity, nutritious, delicious eating patterns, restorative sleep, positive social connections, stress resiliency, and then avoidance of risky substances are key components to ageless living.
Awesome. So I love that you talk about, because that's our topic, understanding the secrets to living long and well, 6 proven tips for ageless living. So
Yep.
I'm going to ask you, so first, what does ageless living mean? For someone who's watching, who's like, yeah, that's good. I'm glad that your dad did well. He was able to change his life. But what's in it for me? For someone who's a little confused, ageless, like at some point, you get old and you pass on. So what does that mean? I know you hinted at it earlier, but I wanted you to kind of spell that out.
Sure. So ageless living, the way I look at it, is the ability to enjoy your day, enjoy your activities, feel like you're thriving, whatever age you are. So you have purpose in your life, you have goals, you have social connection, you're enjoying your surroundings in nature as well as the people in your life, and you're feeling like you're contributing. That sense of purpose. You have a reason for being an ikigai, a reason for getting up in the morning, and you fulfill that purpose because it in this way you are contributing to the greater good. And when we feel like we're contributing to the greater good at whatever age, whatever number we may be, it could be in our 20s, our 30s, or 40s, or 50s, it doesn't matter. When you feel like you're contributing to the greater good, you can really enjoy the day-to-day life that you're living.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. So let's get through to the 6 tips. I know you mentioned them, but I wanted to kind of tease them out one at a time. And
Yep.
then we could talk about maybe simple lifestyle changes, because some people are probably thinking, oh, this sounds like a lot to do. I got to sleep well. I got to form relationships. I don't like talking to people. I don't like people. But let's go over the 6 of them real quick, and then we'll talk about simple ways to kind of start to make those changes towards ageless living.
Okay, terrific. So let's start with movement. So we'll give the guidelines, and these guidelines from lifestyle medicine are from research. You could take my course, a full semester college course, and this, I don't have time to give you the 2-hour lecture, but we would spend 2 to 3 hours on movement. But that's okay. We're going to spend 2 to 3 minutes together today, and I'll give you the skinny on the situation. Here we go. The guidelines are to accumulate 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity in the week. Now, what's moderate intensity mean? Moderate intensity means when you're doing the exercise, you can talk, but you can't sing. If you could sing, you'd be in low intensity. If you can't talk, you're in vigorous or high intensity. So to get out there, basically to get outside or to get moving inside, depending where you live and depending what the weather is, and also depending if it's safe outside, right? I'm in Boston. There are many places in Boston where you wouldn't go for a walk. So you may want to do your exercise inside, or it may just be too hot or too cold. And sometimes it's too icy and snowy in Boston to get outside. So to get moving, you could be hula hooping. You could be going up and down stairs. You could be doing sit to stands. You could be jumping rope. You could be holding planks. You could be, there's so many fun things you could try. And you could look these up on your phone, on the internet, and find movement that speaks to you. Dancing, by the way. Yeah. Turn on the radio to music you like and dance. So what's interesting about the accumulation guideline is that you can dance for 10 minutes in the morning, walk for 10 minutes in the afternoon, and then again do stairs, your own stairs, up and down the stairs, around the house for 10 minutes in the evening, and that's a half hour. So if you did 10-minute bouts for 5 days, so Monday through Friday, you do that, you'll reach the guidelines. Okay. Then the next one is the healthy eating. So there's a Harvard healthy plate that I like to use. I'm here at Harvard Medical School, and Dr. Walter Willett has been a mentor of mine for a long time. And he is the chair of the Department of Nutrition at the School of Public Health here at Harvard. He developed this Harvard healthy eating plate. I like it because it's about a pattern of eating. It's not about a diet. It's not about what am I cutting out? What can't I have? All this. It's a plate that you want to use as a template. Half of it is fruit and vegetables, a quarter of it is whole grains, and the other quarter is a healthy protein. We try to go plant forward, plant slant, nuts, seeds, legumes, beans, tofu. Walter Willett will say, if you're going to have fish, you can have it twice a week. Look out for the mercury. If you're going to eat animal product, poultry, skinless is neutral. It's going to give you the protein. If you're a meat eater, you do want to cut back on the fatty red meat, on the processed meats. If you're worried about heart disease, you're gonna pull off red meat entirely. You probably know the processed red meat is also connected to cancer. So we try to have a plant slant. We're going to go plant forward. I personally eat whole food, predominantly plant way of eating. I don't call it vegan. I don't call it vegetarian. I just try to eat a lot of plants, as many plants, whole food as I can. And I don't eat red meat. I do have a family history of heart disease and of stroke. I actually don't eat animal product, except for occasionally I'll have some fish, but mostly I'll have plants day in and day out. Beans are great protein, tofu, great protein, but you have to come to this place of patterning yourself after this Harvard healthy plate in stages, perhaps, or you can work with a dietitian, a health coach, talk about your current diet and get a plan in place. Next one is sleep. Now, sleep is getting more and more play, meaning scientists are talking about it. Magazine articles are highlighting it, and the American Heart Association has adopted it as one of its essential habits for a healthy heart as of April 2022. So many of us have been talking about sleep, especially in the world of lifestyle medicine, for 2 decades. But it has come to the point in the literature, in the research, in the science, that it is so well known and backed by studies that sleep is essential for health and ageless living. What do I mean? There's studies that look at populations, looking at how much sleep they get, and then looking at if they get a heart attack or a stroke, cardiovascular disease. So those that are sleeping, And I take careful look at this. You know why? Not just because I'm a nerd and interested in all the research and the science, but because it affects me. Because I have a history of family history of heart disease. So 7 to 9 hours. Those that sleep 7 to 9 hours have the lowest risk for cardiovascular disease. So for a heart attack or a stroke. So I definitely try to get 7 to 8 hours every single night. Tip there is go to sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time, Monday through Monday. So having the same schedule on the workday and the weekend really helps because you get into
Uh,
yeah, it's a circadian rhythm. You want to wake up, you want to see the sun, get that into your eyes, into your retina so that you get your suprachiasmatic nucleus, the place in your brain that's your timekeeper, your circadian rhythm manager, so that they know that it is daylight and it can speak to all your cells. And then at night, you really want to close down computers and close down any screens 2 to 3 hours before bed. Avoid blue wavelength light so that you can get a good night's sleep, because blue wavelength light also gets into the retina and it makes your pineal gland in your brain stop releasing its own natural melatonin. So you want your natural melatonin to help you fall asleep. So you want it to be dark and you don't want the input of the screen blue wavelength light to disrupt your sleep, because you have natural melatonin if you stay on this circadian rhythm. Then the fourth one is stress. So I've been working in this area since 2008. And what we want to do is learn stress reduction techniques and have a variety of them. The one that you can always control and it costs nothing is your breath. So learning how to use your breath to change your physiology. Many of us, like my dad, run around in sympathetic charge, in the sympathetic system. That's fight or flight, sympathetic drive all day long, even at night. You're just constantly go, 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 worrying about this, worrying about that, running here, running there, always very fast, going, going, worried, worried. And the thing that you can do to help you get into the other rest and digest mode, parasympathetic mode, just like a switch, you can deep breathe. Take a breath in and then a long one out. In and out.
Rest and digest mode. I like it.
and try that at least 5 times in a row. If you want to, you can look up 4-7-8 breathing. Breathing in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 7, exhaling for a count of 8, or you can just remember, take a deep breath in and a long exhalation out. Do it again, deep breath in, long forced push exhalation out. And that should help. Now, other things you can do to reduce stress are to take a walk. Walking is known to reduce stress levels. Listen to music. Listening to music has been shown to reduce stress levels. Get out in nature if you can. Not everyone has a park near them. So you may have to take a T. Here we have in Boston public transportation, the T, or a bus, and you can get to a park. Another form of stress reduction that you can use is laughing. So watching a fun movie, or if you have a dog, she just came in, Athena is my German Shepherd. You can pet your dog or cat. Now, why is that? When you pet your dog or cat, there's physiology here. You release oxytocin, which is a bonding hormone that is a feel-good hormone. It's also called the love hormone. But when you pet your cat or dog, you can calm yourself down. We have a dog at Harvard Medical School. You can sign up for play dates with this dog.
Wow.
The dog is booked for at least a week. Sign up a week in advance because the medical students sign up to play with the dog for reduction. Faculty can sign up too, and the dog is booked. It is a known fact. So thinking to yourself, what are some simple ways, my go-to for reducing stress? Is it deep breathing? Is it music? Is it calling a friend? Is it calling your mom, calling your dad, calling your sister? What is it? Think about a couple ways that you know can reduce your stress. All right, that's four. Got to get to our fifth, which brings us to social connection. So, our Surgeon General, Vivek Murthy, has told us we are in a loneliness epidemic.
Mm.
COVID taught us about the
Mm.
importance of social connection. We've known about it in lifestyle medicine for decades. The research is out there. There's recommendations to connect with someone each day, one time a day, 7 times in the week. So if you didn't connect with someone today, well, you're connecting with us in a way. But we are looking for deep connection with a friend, someone that supports you. You feel supported by this person, connecting with that person, or a number of different people. Again, it could be the same person 7 times, but different people are also helpful through the week. So that's a goal. Now, there's also micro connections, micro moments where you can even exchange a smile. This can improve mood. That's not the same as cultivating high quality connections. They're different, but both are good. Both are definitely good for you. Expressing gratitude to people, connecting in different ways, joining community organizations, town opportunities in your own town to take walks together or to celebrate together, getting involved with a group that meets regularly. It could be a religious organization on Saturdays or Sundays, whatever it may be. These community groups, they provide us opportunity to create these high quality connections, these close connections that we need to sustain us through this journey of life and to help us in ageless living. And lastly, you will not be surprised, but this is our avoidance of risky substances pillar. So if you're smoking, one of the best things you can possibly do is to quit smoking. Speak to your physician about different plans that may work for you. And if you drink, the American Heart Association says limit yourself to 1 drink if you're a woman or 2 drinks if you're a man, if you drink. Now, the American Heart Association has come out and said, if you do not drink, do not start.
Yeah.
Now, there's information and recent research that points to the connection that alcohol has with cancer. So, for ageless living, it is good if you can be substance free. If you can, that would be a way to live happily at any age. So, how do you get your dopamine rush, right? Because these substances impact the brain, the reward system, and make us feel good. Well, I mentioned you can pat your dog, dog, and pet your dog. You can laugh. You can stretch. Stretching itself releases endorphins. So we always think of endorphins coming from a big long run, right?
Right.
But stretching can release endorphins. So finding yeah, there you go. Finding ways to feel good that are natural. Use your natural environments. So those are the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine, some 6 tips, tricks. Hopefully.
Major.
Yeah.
Major, Dr. Frates, major. And I love how you talked about finding easy, natural ways to de-stress, because part of being alive and enjoying life is enjoying the perks that come with it, right? Feeling good. But we want to do that not at our own detriment. You make it sound so simple. And that's the challenge with simple things. They're simple to do, simple not to do them as well. But this has been very, very powerful. I loved how you talked about the social connection on different levels. They're both good, the relatively superficial and the deeper ones. And of course, sleep. I'm guilty on that one. The 7 to 9, we'll work on that. Because it's very, very important to overall well-being. But Doc, I have someone who's watching, and by the way, based on what you talked about, I have some people who are watching, Dr. Mitra, who's like, I think I'm curious about studying lifestyle medicine. Yes, Doc, go for it. It's life changing. And I tell my patients this. I said, the more you practice the lifestyle medicine, the less you have to see me.
That's so true.
Save you money. Mm-hmm.
Dr. Tolu, that's great.
But I have someone who's watching who's like, Doc, all of these sound good. I struggle in almost all the areas and I feel a little overwhelmed at the pressure of what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
Do you have any tips to encourage such viewers on taking the next steps?
Yes, absolutely. And this does happen, right? Because we reviewed a lot together. We reviewed 6 things. So what I would suggest, if we can connect with this viewer, what I would do is ask, which of the things I spoke about seems most interesting to you? Which one is compelling? Which one are you drawn toward? What do you want to think more carefully about? Which one do you want to spend time on? Like, for example, Dr. Tolu mentioned sleep. So Dr. Tolu and I can explore sleep together. But if it's possible, Dr. Tolu, to communicate with the viewer and find out an answer, we can work through that together, or do your sleep, whatever you'd like.
Let's do the because you talked about a busy person.
Okay.
As an example, your dad, all the things, all the, the many hats you have to wear, the burden of responsibility. So someone who's watching who's like, well, I want to do these things, but I don't have the time to.
Yeah, good. Okay. So I work with the surgeons at Mass General Hospital as the director of lifestyle medicine and wellness there for them. So that's great. So they're people that are super busy and they don't like to waste any time and they don't have a lot of time and they also have families. So what do we do? Well, we do things that don't take extra time. Okay, so let's go through it. So one thing you can do for movement right this moment, unless you're driving. Okay, this is not to be done if you're driving. So if you are not driving, stand up. So what you can do for movement is move more. There is reaching the guidelines of 150 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity in the week. And then there's sitting less and moving more, which is good for you. Very good for your body. So one thing is to stand up and throughout the day to do more standing and walking around. I know we're on Zoom a lot and we're in front of the computer a lot. So one thing is to make that every hour, take a break and take a 10-minute walk. Another idea is to get a portable peddler. I think they're about $50.
Yeah.
Put that right under your table right now as you're listening to Dr. Tolu, and you would be pedaling right now. I mean, I'm pretending to pedal right now. In fact, you could also have a pretend peddler. I just thought at this very moment. But so we are all then going to use our pretend portable peddler. And this is actually even harder, really, because you got to use your car also. And you could be pedaling. Now, I have right over there a stationary bike workstation where it's a small bike, so I can pull it around. It's not, the sturdiest, but it's good. And it has a little place for my laptop. So I put my laptop on it and I'm pedaling as I'm in meetings. This is no extra time for me. So someone else is saying, but I have to be in the clinic. I'm a physician. I'm walking around. Yes. And then when you have to do your notes, you could be on your stationary bike workstation, doing your notes, answering your emails, taking phone calls. Another idea is whenever you're on the phone, you're standing up and you're walking around. You could pace around your office. You could do whatever you want, but the phone is whenever you get on the phone, that's your trigger to go ahead and stand up and get moving. So these things don't take extra time. They just take planning. Now, how about food? Food doesn't take extra time. It takes planning. You're going to eat 3 times a day. So when you go to the store, are you going to stock up on fruits and vegetables? Because half your plate's supposed to be fruits and vegetables. Quarter's going to be that whole grain. So are you going to bring brown rice and quinoa into your home? And then what are you going to do for the protein? I've got tons of beans, different types of beans. So you can make a salad, right? And put the beans on it, whatever or tofu if you like. And seeds and nuts, terrific. So you think about your different meals when you go to the store, bring them if you can to work, but you don't have time. But on Sunday, you likely have time. So you can do this as a family where you can chop the veggies, you can prepare the meal, you can freeze, you can cook and freeze for the rest of the week. You could combine with another family. You can make a certain dish, the other family can make a dish, half and half it. And now you got two different things, so you have 2 nights worth in one night's work. So there's a lot of ways to do this that don't take extra time. Now, sleep. So how is sleep not going to take extra time? Well, we just have to factor in and get serious about our sleep and start using tricks like don't let the blue wavelength light get into your eyes. So either do blue wavelength blocking goggles, do the apps on your screens, use what you know. So a drop in core body temperature helps you fall asleep. So this doesn't take extra time. Drop your thermometer, so your temperature in your room is going to be between 60 and 70. And you got to play around with it. 67 is a sweet spot. This helps you fall asleep. Now, alcohol. People think it helps them sleep. Well, it may help you fall asleep, but it disrupts your sleep. So this is not going to take extra time. It's just, again, planning and thinking to cut out the alcohol. That'll help with your sleep. What about caffeine? Don't drink coffee after 8 a.m. if you're having trouble with sleep. You may want to pull it off entirely. Caffeine has a half-life of 4 to 6 hours. So if you drink caffeine at 3 p.m., half of it's in your system potentially at 9 p.m. So thinking about those, this doesn't change the time of your day. This changes how you use your day. So instead, when you have a lull at 3 p.m., take a quick walk, do some hula hooping, do something that'll energize you that does not put caffeine in your system. Now let's go to stress resiliency. There's no extra time. When you're feeling stressed, you're sitting down and you're stressing about something. You can set your timer. If it's something out of your control and you're worried about it, you can, you're going to worry. Set your timer for 5 minutes. Go ahead and worry about it. Then when the timer goes off, take those deep breaths. This is actually going to save you a lot of worry time.
Oh my gosh.
Take these deep breaths, right? Get into the parasympathetic and then start thinking, okay, what's in my control? Get your pen and paper out. What's in my control? So whatever the thing is that's stressing you, that's out of your control, it could be, for example, COVID. This happened a lot with COVID. So COVID, out of our control, a threat, an imminent threat to everyone that was living.
Right.
So then what are the things you're going to do? Okay, I'm not going to rub my eyes, my nose, my mouth. I am going to stay home. I'm not going to go out if I am coughing. I am going to, you have the to-dos that you need to do. I'm going to eat well. I'm going to exercise. This helps my immune system. I'm going to sleep. This helps my immune system. You're going to write down the things you can do about this thing that's out of your control.
I like that.
So this is the stress one. And then really thinking about taking timeouts when things get heated. So instead of wasting a lot of time in arguments and confrontations about things that really oftentimes are silly, let's admit it, and not earth-shattering, not life-threatening, but for some reason just have to spend 20 minutes discussing, arguing. Instead, save yourself some time. Say, this doesn't seem like a good time to have this discussion. We're not really getting anywhere. I need to go to the bathroom. Let's talk about this later. Get yourself to the bathroom. This is the best way to get out of a conversation or a tough thing. I have to go to the bathroom. You don't have to say why you have to go to the bathroom. You have to go to the bathroom to take deep breaths in there and get away from you, the person who's you. But you don't have to say that. You don't actually have to say that to anyone. No one needs to. Why? What are you going to do in there? Have you ever asked anyone that? No. You say, I need to go to the bathroom, and no one says why. Thank you. I go to the bathroom. And then I go to the bathroom. I take my deep breaths. I come out. I've just saved 25 minutes because that person was not in the right state to have a rational conversation with them. So I saved everybody, myself and them, 20 minutes by taking that time out. So this is time sparing techniques. Now, social connection. Oh, but that takes time. Well, yes, but it also is life affirming. And it is so, if we want to live agelessly, this is so important that we have people to laugh with, to connect with, and when we're stressed, to share things with.
Hmm.
It's very hard to get through this one life we have on this one planet alone. We need people, we need each other. So yeah, taking the time to make that phone call on the way home. You're driving, right? You're driving, you're in your car. Make the phone call to your mom, make the phone call to your sister, to your loved one, to your friend, to your partner. So use that time for connection. Then the avoidance of risky substances, well, save you a lot of money and a lot of time by getting rid of that stuff.
I love it. I love it. These are so practical, so easy to implement. Don't cost much, actually. So this is good. It's the thoughtfulness and the mindset around it. So for those of you who are watching, please, please, I forgot to mention this earlier. Share with your friends, with family members, with your friends, your frenemies. Tag people in the comment. These are very, very simple to implement tips, and would actually improve your quality of life, how well you live. It helps you enjoy the life you already have. All right. So I'm hopeful. I know people are going to be blessed just listening to this. And there's so much you can pick from and start with and then run with and come back and pick the second point and implement and rinse and repeat. This has been so good. And thanks for sharing your dolls with us.
Yeah, she's so cute. That's
She's
Athena.
so beautiful.
Yeah, she's
Wow, 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 wow.
2 years old.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Frates. And I have people who are watching who are like, man, I could listen to her all day. I want to connect with her. I want to have her come speak on my platform. I want to watch what she's doing. Doc, where can people find you?
Oh, Dr. Tolu, that's so kind. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Oh, man.
So I am on LinkedIn. I'm on Twitter, Beth Frates MD. I'm on Instagram at BethFrates.md. And I do have a website, BethFratesMD.com. I teach a lot. I give talks, so hopefully you'll be able to join me in another opportunity for sharing lifestyle medicine tips, tricks,
Yes.
practices, and the 6 pillars.
Yes, yes, yes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to share your information at the bottom of the screen so that way people can connect with you as well. And no pressure. I look forward to doing this with you again, maybe in about 6 months, something like that.
That'd be great, Dr. Tolu. Again, you are just a gem, and I remember you so well. Am I going to see you in Denver?
Not this is that's next year though.
This year is 2023 is Denver, Colorado for the American College of Lifestyle Medicine meeting.
Oh no, I'm not coming this year. I went earlier this year. I probably have to postpone to next year, but I'm definitely planning to attend one at least every year.
Okay.
Conferences. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
But
terrific.
thank you so much for doing this. I am honored. And I have a lot of thank you in the comments. Dr. Mitra, she says, thank you so much for doing this. Love the tips. And some of you I can't see who's here. Oh, Uncle Miwa, thank you for watching. And Dr. Nelson, thank you for watching as well. Sometimes the screen, I can't tell who's watching, but for all of you who's watching, thank you, thank you, thank you. And as always, just share with people who could find this useful. And thank you for coming again, Doc.
Thank you, Dr. Tolu. Have a great evening.
Thank you. You too. You too. And for those of you who are watching replay, hashtag live hashtag as well. And if you or anyone you know is looking for a good, a thorough, and a compassionate family physician in the Mansfield, Texas area to help you live long and well, I am she. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you so much.